Hi my loves, welcome back to another video. How's it going? How are you guys doing? So today I'm going to be introducing my two pan palettes this year, and if you follow me on Instagram you've probably seen I'm atrocious with panning palettes and you're probably wondering what the hell are you thinking, but there's a game plan, I promise. So this year I've decided to pick two palettes and they're both going to be palettes from e.l.f. I heard from Paula, which is a beauty guru, made me do this, that's her channel name, that e.l.f. palettes, like the pans on them are not that like deep and they're quite like easy to kind of pan and make progress, and for that reason I've kind of decided to pick both e.l.f. palettes to focus on. This I've decided is not going to be a year-long project. I'm going to make it a rolling project because I want to have as much progress as possible and not limit myself or force myself to use it within a year. If I do use it up within this year, that'll be amazing and I'll be like over the moon, but gonna be realistic, I do feel like one of the palettes will take at least a year and a half, if not 2 years, to use up because I'm not that great at remembering to use up products that are in my panning project. Anyway, the first palette and the main focus of the project is going to be the e.l.f. Cookies and Cream palette, which just, if I can open it, looks like this. So here you can see it's got a decent amount of blues and neutral shades in here. My goal with this one is I've got these two light blues and I'm going to use a dark blue as a liner, and then I've got the two like really light browns and I'm going to use a dark brown as a liner to kind of use it up. Then I've got this random like shimmery black shadow which I'm either going to use as a liner or I might try to do some smoky looks with it to see how that kind of turns out, but also as like a way for me to use up the eyeshadow quicker than trying to pan it as like a liner. I have no idea how this is going to go. And I think if there's going to be one shade that I decide to declutter, it will most likely be this one because I feel like all the other shades that are in here, they can still be used up. This palette says it's 17 grams in total, or 6 Oz, which I don't know what that is, but I'm quite looking forward to using this palette because it's got a little bit of colour in here as well, which I sometimes do like to use, especially for blues. I don't really tend to go for them, so I think this would be a nice little challenge for me to use. But the neutral shadows in here are going to be really easy. They're going to be those shadows that I kind of throw on if I ever need to run out with eyeshadow. So yeah, it's not a bad palette, and I do think because of the neutral aspect of this as well, it won't be too hard for me to use. I have used this once before and I did actually really enjoy the look I had with the blue eyeshadow. I don't know if I recorded a video with it though, but yeah, no, I did really enjoy this, so I'm going to keep this in. It's going to be like a rolling project and I'm gonna just take as long as I need to use this up. I think also because if I have it as like a rolling project, it'll be less pressure and I think I might end up actually making more progress, whereas if it's within a year I tend to like freak out about it and then not use the palette because of that reason. I think that's why all of my previous years, especially last year, was like a complete flop, but I'm really looking forward to trying to pan this as much as possible. And then the other palette I have is this I Love You a Latte palette. I had already hit pan in this dark brown by using it as a liner, and the pan was deeper than, like slightly bigger than this one, but I dropped it yesterday and it's completely shattered, and as you can see there's like loads of dark brown powder in all these other shadows, so I'm going to just get rid of that powder because I can't bother to repress it. I've got enough dark browns in my collection to just use another palette like literally in here, and that'll be a great way to use this up. And then I've got these two which I have a decent pan on, and the way I use these up is I had a Charlotte Tilbury like the single shadow pots, and I have that in my project which is 50 Shades of Yellow Gold, so I was using that, but then in order to have like a matte to kind of go with it, I was using either or, and that's how I managed to hit so much, like hit pan on both of these and expand them. This is the only one that doesn't have pan in it yet, but I'm close to hitting pan, and I do think I can end up finishing up this whole like palette by the end of the year, ideally 6 months, which I think is fairly doable considering how much product I have already used up. And you know, it will be quite fun to use, and then I can actually use this to repress other shadows I can use or need to use. So I'm quite looking forward to completely using up this palette as well. So those are both of my palettes for this year, and I mean the second palette is going to be like, I'm going to limit myself to getting it done within this year, but the other one will be a running palette, and I think I will also post regular comparison pictures over on Instagram at least once a month to kind of see how I'm going. And with the Cookies and Cream palette, I also feel like I'm going to do a usage goal on them, just so like if I don't have progress on the palette, like in terms of pictures, I can see that I've still used it up a certain amount of times in each month, because I think that'll be quite interesting to see as well. So that is all for the intro for my pan that palette. I hope you guys enjoy that, and if you're also doing this project, please let me know down below, and let me know what palettes you're going to be panning as well this year. But that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.